Welcome to this LEX 18 digital conversation. I'm Dia Davidson. Just a few days ago, the Creation Museum in Boone County in northern Kentucky celebrated being open for 10 years. The group Answers in Genesis runs that organization along with the Ark Encounter, and it's located in Grant County. So joining us to talk about both areas is Director of Operations, Patrick Kanuski. Patrick, it's nice to see you.
Good to see you.
You know, I've had the opportunity to visit both locations, and it just leaves you, I mean, talking about it right now, I have goosebumps thinking about it. It is the most awesome tactile, visual, audio interpretation and experience of the Bible I think that there's out there today. Don't you agree?
I do. It's a really great place. People are amazed by what they see at both locations.
You know, what's interesting when we talk about the Creation Museum is when we look at both aspects of science and also creation, but yet there's a total thrust on the Christian interpretation. Do you think that you're able to get, when people visit, both comprehensive experiences, and which one do you think they walk away with a deeper understanding of, or is it both?
Well, we try to present both sides, and you know, one view, one world, two views, evolutionary side and the creation side, and the creation side is just compelling. I mean, the way it's presented, you cannot dispute the fact that the way it's presented, it's just compelling. There's overarching evidence that creation is real, young Earth, things of that nature. So folks walk away, if nothing else, they walk away and they think more heavily about what exactly they did see.
We took our daughter, at the time she was about 5 years old, and her little eyes just twinkled, and she was just awe-inspired, especially when she was going through the Garden of Eden. The mannequins, the representations of Adam and Eve are so lifelike. And then when you go and you see Moses and you see all of these different characters from the Bible coming to life, there was a lot of research that went into this and a lot of staying true to the Word.
That's right, a lot of research. Actually, I might say that really cost was not a factor. The money was spent to make sure that it was world class. That, you know, we're in competition with other theme parks, and we'd like to have the folks come and see ours, obviously. So if the word's out there that, hey, this is a world class, you know, theme park attraction, at both locations, then people will come. And I really think we've held true to that.
And it's a true learning experience. It's something that is thought-provoking and definitely takes you on a spiritual journey. But like you said, it's an attraction. So you have other things like the planetarium. Any great exhibits or shows that you have planned for there? Or can you tell people about the show that you have existing there?
The shows, they're varied. They vary throughout the year. There's a lot of shows about the universe in particular. That's the one I like. Yeah. Where you kind of travel through the universe and they just keep going through galaxy after galaxy.
And you realize just how small.
Just how small we are.
Exactly.
It's just amazing.
And then you can go outside and look down and see how small everything around us is.
That's right.
With the zip line, right?
Well, yes, you can get on the zip line and you're up pretty high and you're going pretty fast. And the only thing between you and the ground is that turnbuckle, and you're zipping along pretty good. The Ark Encounter in particular has a 2,200-foot line.
Wow.
It's really long, and total number of, well, you can measure it in miles, you don't have to measure it in feet. It's 5 miles worth of zip line down there at the Ark Encounter, so it's...
Can you get a good view of the Ark when you're zipping along?
You can get a good view of the Ark and other things. A lot of it goes through the valleys and things of that nature, so it's quite popular. If you do the whole thing down at the Ark Encounter in particular, it's 3.5 hours.
Wow.
Of zip lining.
Well, I'll tell you though, it's something that I think you you go and you are drawn back to come again, because it's not something that you can just kind of run through really quickly, because I love the audio portions where you can actually stand and you're taught, you're really immersed in what is happening, and we're seeing some of the zip line now, but I was curious. In
particular, you do mention that Noah in his office.
Yes.
He's got an office. His wife is standing there, Zara, and you can ask Noah 14 different questions from the little tablet. And you don't look 600 years old, and how old are you really? How many animals were actually on the ark, and all kinds of different questions, and Noah just comes to life.
Indeed.
Right in front of you.
Indeed.
And the animatronics that are on display there, Noah and moving and talking and all that, are just so well done.
And you almost forget that they are not real,
Yeah.
because you're kind of thinking that you've stepped back into time. But when you're at the Creation Museum, the first exposure everyone had was a small scale replica
Yes.
of the Ark. And now, when you're dropped off and you walk down that path and you see the Ark there, it takes your breath away. How long did it take for the Ark to be really put together here in Kentucky?
Our Ark,
Our
yes.
Ark.
2 years, just under 2 years, 23 months from groundbreaking to when we opened in July of 16. And I'll tell you that when you do get off the tram ride, there's 510 feet of Ark right in front of you. And that's true to the biblical measurements. We use the biblical measurements for the length, the height, and the width of the Ark. So it's 510 feet long, 51 feet high, and 84 feet wide.
Wow, and you think about a man and his sons and their wives putting this together with God's help. It's and we used cranes, I'm sure, and all bulldozers and all kinds of different things.
Power tools.
Exactly, and everything was put on by hand. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other things. When you walk into the Ark, it's a lot of walking, wouldn't you say?
It's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
It takes a walk to get from where you're dropped off on the bus to the Ark entrance. And then you're walking the length of the Ark 3 times, because you're going on the first deck, second deck, third deck. You're actually, you actually do a round trip on the second and third deck, so you're walking the length of it twice. So you're really walking the length of the Ark 5 times.
Wow.
After you get on it. So it's a little bit of walking, but we do cater to folks who have issues, with walking, things of that nature. We have lots of wheelchairs and scooters, and we're getting more scooters because we see the need for that.
Oh, good. And you can also take a picture. You have pictures available for folks to be
Right.
able to...
Your picture's taken as you get on to the first deck.
And then gift shops are available as well, right? Let's look outside of the Ark. There are some interesting animals that are milling about, aren't there?
Are you talking about at the
I'm
zoo?
talking about the camels and the camel rides that you can take out
back
there.
at the zoo, we have yak, Tibetan yak, which are really a neat animal. They love the wintertime because they're just out there frolicking around in the snow.
Are
It's
they
pretty
really?
neat to see them.
Okay.
They're a great, really neat animal.
Can you ride a yak?
No, you can't ride a yak.
Okay.
We have emus and ostrich, which are of the same kind, but it's interesting. We'd like to try to show folks that the kinds can live together, and an emu and an ostrich is the same kind, but they don't live together in nature.
Right.
They don't get along,
Right.
so we can't put them in the same pen down there in the same area. We have llamas and alpacas. We do have them together. They're quite similar, same kind.
Right.
We have kangaroos, and quite a few of our kangaroos have given birth, so we have
So you've
little
got little
joeys.
babies. Oh.
We have several joeys down there, which is...
Can the kids touch any of these? Or are these more
there is a petting area
Yeah.
in the zoo. There's goats, and there's a tortoise down there, and things of that nature, but not the other animals.
Right.
Let's see, we have the camel ride, you
Yeah.
mentioned that,
Yeah.
and donkeys. So the camels, we have 4 camels now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have a zebra down there, and everybody really loves the zoo.
Oh, indeed. If you were...
And I don't know if this was happening when you were there. We didn't have it early on, but now we have the animals, live animals, come on the Ark every day.
No.
So they come up on the elevator from outside. They come up to deck 2, and there's an area right there where we have animals, and we swap them out, different ones every day.
You're kidding. Wow.
Live animals on the Ark. Imagine that.
Well, imagine that 2 by 2, right? Well, if you were suggesting someone who was interested in bringing their family, what age group do you think for children would this be most appropriate?
I would say all ages. If they're under 5, they're free.
Right.
The food is free. So we just want to get the young folks in.
Right.
They're all amazed. It's really neat to see the little boys and girls walk around with the maps, the chart, and they're, hey, Mom, this is this and that's that. And we have something now that over the last month or so, we've been doing overnights.
Really? Talk about that.
So what we have is at night after we close, youth groups, mostly youth groups, you know, high school, junior high type groups, a lot of church groups, some school groups will come in. We have their bedding. They bring their own bedding in to deck 2 and deck 3. There's
like sleeping
theater.
bags, or okay.
There's deck 2 and deck 3 theater areas. We separate the boys and girls, and they get their bedding all settled, and they get a safety lecture, and then they go on a scavenger hunt on the Ark. And then they have a movie and a snack on the Ark.
Okay.
And we bed them down probably around 11:30 or so.
Oh, wow.
And then in the morning, they get up, they have their own program at the zoo. So a private program at the zoo. They have breakfast at the restaurant, at Mzar's restaurant, and then they stay on the Ark for the day.
Wow.
Now the price of that, we want to make it reasonable so the young people get in as much as possible. It's only $19 for that.
You're kidding.
To stay overnight.
Now, they would have to come, though, as a part of their church group for this.
Right.
Okay.
We cater mostly to youth groups and things of that nature.
How would the pastor or youth minister, how would they get in touch?
Any of our websites, Ark Encounter, Creation Museum, or Answers in Genesis, any of those websites, you just, in the search engine, type in overnights.
And then all that information
they can sign up right there.
Would pop up. And then you do groups for senior citizens as well.
A lot.
Yes.
We've had upwards of 40 buses in a single
You're talking
day.
about like the big coach bus.
Yeah.
Wow.
40, I mean, just that will account for almost 2,000 people.
Yeah.
With 40 buses. So in addition to that, then everybody's coming in their cars and all that. We had 2 Saturdays ago, we had 6,500 people.
You're kidding.
We have thousands of people coming in. I'm not, you know, we don't really need to throw out there what the total number of people have since we've opened, but it's hundreds of thousands of people.
But yet it doesn't feel crowded. You know,
'Cause
you
it's so
still
big.
feel, yeah, because it's a, but I guess it's a testament, though, to the size and mass of it, but also for people to know that even when you hear that there are these thousands of people, you still get a very personal experience.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
And a phenomenon here, well, not a phenomenon, but we really did plan for this, is since so many are coming to the Ark, they're also coming to the museum.
Yeah.
So we've increased our parking lots. We have additional parking because we just couldn't handle the parking before.
Okay.
So now we've increased that. Folks, and the Creation Museum, they're going to have a bigger year than the opening year 10 years ago.
You think it's because it's becoming, word of mouth is traveling more?
Yeah,
or?
the people are coming here and they're saying, hey, we're in Northern Kentucky, let's go to both. And we have a cut rate for if you do go to both, you get a break on the price of admission if you go to both. So it works out really well.
Open year round?
Year round, the only days, only close 2 days out of the year, and that's Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Every other day of the year we're open.
Wow.
Now this time of year, we just, on the 1st of June, started last week, we're up until 9 o'clock.
Oh, wow, okay.
So at the Ark Encounter, we open at 9, except on Sundays we open at noon.
Okay.
Because we want to have the employees make sure they get to church and
Exactly.
all that.
Exactly, exactly. Do you have church services out there?
No,
Okay.
no, neither location. I think they used to at the Creation Museum,
Okay.
but they don't do that
They
anymore.
don't do that anymore. Okay. Well, I thank you so much for stopping by. It's truly a treat that I think everyone of all ages, as you said, should experience and see, because it definitely leaves you with lots to think about. Well, this has been another LEX 18 Digital Conversation. I'm Dia Davidson. For more digital conversations, log on to lex18.com. That's it for now. See you next week.